This is similar to what we did on Wednesday, where we were solving a system. See, we have two equations. We have one equation, x equals 8, and we have another equation, negative 4x plus 6y equals 10, right? So we have two equations, which means we're going to have how many solutions?
No, one.
Just one. Remember, the first equation has an infinite number of solutions. The second one has an infinite number of solutions. And together they have one, which is where they both meet. We'll get to the special cases later. Is that what you were going to ask about? Oh.
Are you recording this?
Yes. All right. So this is from IXL. What's the difference between this and the other ones you've done?
This one is.
That's what I know.
Okay. Zach?
That one says what I do.
Okay, some of the ones on the other one said x equals something. Hannah?
There's a Y.
Well, it wouldn't be a linear equation. Okay, not in y equals form, which makes it a little bit tougher if you were going to graph it. Okay, there's the big one. Notice like a big white space right here, where in all the other ones there was one of those like graph things. Anyone else notice that? Oh, yeah. Okay, we're not going to be creating a graph to solve these. Okay, we're going to be doing it by another method called substitution. Now, there are advantages to each. Okay, there's actually 3 methods we're going to learn how to use in this chapter, and each one has its own advantages. There are ones that are easier to do one way, and others that are easier to do another. Now, disadvantage to graphing is you have to create a graph. Okay, that's kind of a pain. Other disadvantage to graphing. Just recapping. So what we did first, we took one equation and wrote it as either x equals or y equals, and you can do any of them. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could add 7x to this side and then divide through by negative 4 on both sides and rewrite that one as y equals something and then plug in.
Why don't we do that one?
Because then you'd have to work with fractions a whole lot. So, the smartest choice to make is to look for the variable that's all by itself and solve for that one. So, solving this, we subtract 3y and we get x equals 2 minus 3y. Then we take that value for x and plug it into the other equation. Replace x with 2 minus 3y. Work that out until you get a solution for y. Plug that y back in, and you can plug the y into either here or here. I could either, if I put y being 2 in here, I'd have negative 7x minus 8. You subtract or add the 8 over here, we'd have 28, divide by negative 7, and you get negative 4.
I missed the step where you got y equals 2.
It's just solving this equation.
But like, I got it to where it's like negative 14 plus 17 y equals 20.
So add 14 to both sides.
And then divide by 17.
And then you have 17y equals 34. And then divide by 17. All right. Cameron?
Wait, so I could solve x using negative 7x that equation?
You could. It would be more difficult. You really want to go with the one that has a variable by itself because it's easier. But if I did it, it would work just the same. The difference would be I'd be working with fractions. Okay, guys, so here we have another one. Once again, there is a clear best one to solve for. What do you think would be the easiest one to solve? Bailey. Go ahead, Bailey. Okay, why the bottom one?
First, you have x by itself.
Okay, you have x by itself. Now, the top one has y, but
It's negative. So
it's negative, so you'd still have to divide through by negative 1. So this is still probably your better choice. If this was, 3x plus 3y equals that, then I would solve for y, and it's easier to divide through by negative 1 because then you just change all your signs than dividing through by 3. So, but if you have a positive value, you would rather go with that. So my first step is I'm going to solve the second equation. So, just let me do this a little smaller. So I have x plus 3y. Why are you not showing up? Oh, there it is. Equals negative 14. So if I want to solve for x, I'm going to start by subtracting 3y. So I get x equals, and now if you're just used to it and you like having your y term first, that's fine, but you can do it negative 14 minus 3y, or you can do it negative 3y minus 14. It doesn't really make any difference because it's not like it's in slope-intercept form where the first value is the slope and the second, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you can put it either way. All right, so here I have x equals negative 3y minus 14. Now that's coming from that equation. So I need to plug that value into this one here. So I'm going to replace the x in the second equation with negative 3y minus 14. So my first equation is negative 2x minus y equals negative 2. So if I replace x with this, I have negative 2 times negative 3y minus 14 minus y equals negative 2. Yeah, everybody with me so far where we got all that from?
I am positive.
Okay, so we solved for x in the first equation, or the second equation, I should say, and then we plug that x value in here, which gives us this, and now we have to solve this. But now we can solve it because it has just one variable, right? It has more than one of them in there, but they're all y, so I can solve it. So I'm going to do distributive property. So negative 2 and negative 3 make positive 6y. Negative 2 and negative 14 make positive 28. Minus y, which we remember is 1y. Although tons of us forgot it on the test, but that's okay. It's really not okay. We should remember that. So from here, now we combine like terms. 6y and negative 1y make 5y plus 28 equals negative 2 minus 28.
Wait.
What you need, Cam?
Wait, so if you... Okay.
You good? All right. So subtract 28 from both sides. That gives us 5y on the left and negative 30 on the right.
The answer is negative 6.
Divide 3 by 5. And we get y equals negative 6. Now, we've only got one of our variables now, but it is the harder one to get. The other one's a lot easier. Because now I can just take the equation, and now one hint, it always helps since we're trying to solve for x now. We already have one expression that is written in the form x equals something. So you don't have to do any opposite operations and moving things over. It's already set up. So that's always going to be the easiest one to plug into. So I have x equals negative 3y minus 14. And if y equals negative 6, then that means x equals negative 3 times negative 6 minus 14. Negative 3 times negative 6 gives us 18. And 18 minus 14 gives us positive 4. So my solution is 4, negative 6. Be careful. Always make sure you're really going to kick yourself on IXL if you get the right answer, but then you put like negative 6, 4 instead of 4, negative 6. Please make sure that you put the x coordinate first in your ordered pair and the y coordinate second. Because like these couple that we found, we started with x equals something, so the first one that we solved for was y, and the second we solved for was x. But if there was one that was like, if we had solved this one for y equals something first, then when we solved our first equation, it would tell us what x equals, and then the next one would tell us what y equals, so it'd be the reverse order. So make sure y comes second, X goes first, so it should be 4, -6 as our ordered pair. So that's the solution. All right.
How many points do you
So,
get?
I mean, to begin with, it's like 10 on the first one, and then it's like 9 on the second one and stuff. All right. Yeah. All right. So, your homework for tonight, because I didn't want to go crazy with it since it's the first day we've seen it, is to do just 20 minutes on IXL. Again, that does not mean go into IXL and just be like, la la la, I don't care what score I get, because you are going to have to get to a certain SMART score come Monday. So, I will decide that over the weekend. So, guys, listen. No, listen. Guys, I have more that I need to say, so I need y'all to be quiet and in your seats. Now, all I'm saying by that is, do a good job and try to get them right. Don't just go, oh, it really doesn't matter because as long as I do 20 minutes, I get the 100. Yes, you will get the 100 on the homework grade over the weekend as long as I check and see that you spent 20 minutes. But it'll help you out more on Monday if you already have a SMART score of, 60 or something, okay? So, now, listen. Guys, listen. What we've got